Good afternoon. My name is Joan Goddard, President of Freshway Food Systems, Inc., and we are located in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And this is a very informal tape, me visiting with you a little bit as friends serve independent contractors to help us promote our franchise branded food service. So at any time there is anything that I haven't explained enough for you, you can give me a call and we can go over it. This isn't intended to be used for customers to view, just the sales folks, okay? So I'm going to start with a company overview. In 1993, a small company started in Iowa called Freshway, Inc., and they offered a sub and salad program in convenience store settings in Iowa. In 1995, they also added a Freshway pizza program, and I actually started working for the company in 1997 as their general manager, and at that time we added an additional brand of chicken. So the history of the company is basically we have been mostly in convenience store settings since 1993, offering a branded food service concept. What we have today is a lot different than when we first started. First of all, where we function well, we do well in small towns. We do well in areas where they can't afford large big box franchise costs. So for example, obviously convenience stores, the lion's share of our business are in those. We do well in independent ice cream shops, bars and taverns, schools, colleges, small operations that don't have the support of large franchises. The actual brands that we have three separate ones. We have Freshway, Sub Salads and Wraps, which has a full breakfast menu. We have Gladiator Pizza, which has a breakfast sandwich component and hamburger menu items. And then our third concept is called Emily's Chicken and Spuds, and that one is a full-fledged chicken dinner program if they want to really get into selling fried foods in a large volume. So I'm going to take each of those just a little bit separate, so maybe answer a few questions that you may have. First of all, our distributor. We use Sysco, S-Y-S-C-O. They are a national food service distributing company, and we use them in all the states we franchise in. So we have national contract pricing within all the Sysco houses in the U.S. Freshway Food Systems, Inc. is currently franchising in 45 states, and it is listed in your paperwork within FranServe which states we are not currently franchising in. So just to give you a little bit of a brief overview for each of the concepts. I'm going to start with our Freshway Subs and Salads program. Now again, we are not charging a large cost to these franchise owners, so it's very affordable for the small operators. So when I give you, you will have the actual sheet that shows you exactly what's included in our franchise cost. Usually there's a few things we have to adjust for a new customer, so this won't be exact. But basically, the sub salad program, and you will get all of these sheets that shows you all of the equipment that comes with this, the counters, the training, everything's included in this one fee for the customer. Our sub salad wrap program, their cost is $48,000. Within that, there is a $18,000 franchise fee, and out of that, your commission for selling one of these concepts would be $10,000. So basically, there is all of the equipment, the training, every lid, tong, ladle, everything you would need in order to make our products. All the menu items that we sell within this program is included in this price, with the exception of the food, and the food order would be coming from Sysco. Next one I'm going to move on to is our Gladiator Pizza program. And in that program, same thing, we provide the equipment, we install it. The electricity, the electrician, and the water lines are set up by others, but we come in and install our part of the program. Our price for our pizza program is $42,500. And included in that fee is our $15,000 franchise fee, and your commission would be $10,000. Now, the pizza program does have some differences depending on what state we're in. In most states we're in, the pizza oven that we are now using has a vent program in it that is in the pizza oven, and we're not required to run a separate ventilation system through the ceiling. But we would check on all of that requirement with each state just to make sure we are in compliance on that. The third one I'm going to talk about just briefly would be if the customer wanted to combine our sub program and our pizza program together as one brand at once. And the price on that is $72,000. That is a $21,000 franchise fee, and your commission on that would be $11,000. And finally, our third option here is our sub pizza and chicken program all together. We do not offer our chicken program as a standalone. We just found that the cost is pretty high, and the majority of our customers want some combination with the chicken program. If they chose our triple program, which would be the sub pizza and chicken together, that's a cost of $92,000. The franchise fee is $24,000, and your commission would be $12,000. We do not charge a royalty as a percentage of the sale of the product. So if you were going to go with, let's say, a Subway program, you would pay back to Subway a royalty fee of 13.5% of what you rung up at the cash register. The way that this franchise system that we have works is you agree to buy the food from Cisco, and they give you our national pricing, and they cut us a check for 5% of your purchases. So we are very specific on what things you have to buy, because we need that sandwich or that pizza to be the exact same no matter what state it is being prepared in and sold in. So we use Hormel meats, we use Rotella breads, we use Sunny Fresh egg products. Everything that we spec, our richest pizza crust, you agree to use the exact products that we have specified for our food products, and you agree to buy them from Cisco, and then they cut us that check for 5% of your purchases. Okay, so if, let's say, that you are successful at selling a franchise program of ours to a customer, and down the road he chooses or she chooses to put us in an additional store, we would call that a referral fee from you because you brought us the first customer, and we would pay you an additional $5,000 referral fee for that second franchise that they opened. You wouldn't need to go and help sell that store. You would just be getting the $5,000 referral fee for that. Okay? So just go a little bit deeper of what we're looking for. So we want to have a partnership that lasts for a very long time. So we want to make sure that we are both successful, the franchisor and the franchisee. So to be quite honest with you, if you go into an existing location and you wouldn't use their restrooms because they're not up to your satisfaction for cleanliness or updated, then don't even bring us the lead, because we don't want that customer either. We want to sell quality, fresh food in a store that is accompanying to that. So quite literally, there are locations that would like our food programs, and we won't go into them unless they make some changes. So what we're looking for is someone who wants to succeed and be a partner for a very long time. Our franchise agreement has a 5-year term, and then they may continue to renew 5-year terms as long as they would choose to. As long as they're following all the policies and procedures and we're keeping them happy, then we'll go ahead and renew the franchise for another 5 years if they would like that. There is an out clause in our franchise agreement if it just did not work and we mutually need to not be in the relationship any longer, we can work that out. We're a small company, So it doesn't have a lot of layers of people making the decisions for what we want to do for the stores. So we can be pretty flexible in that. If you find a store that has some commercial equipment that is in good shape, that would be comparable to what we spec in order to have our program in there, there is an opportunity possibly for us to take out of our package cost that piece of equipment and use the existing one that they have in there. I say that if we approve it. It has to be a commercial piece of equipment, not a microwave that they went and bought at a box retailer or something like that. We use all commercial equipment, NSF, requirement. We follow all of the federal guidelines for having a safe food service program. And we use all, like I said, commercial stuff, so we won't authorize a home crock pot, for example, or a non-commercial microwave that you could buy, like I say, at a box store. So just to go a little bit deeper into each of our programs, safety and sanitation, following the federal guidelines, the HACCP and the ServSafe, those are all part of our priority. Obviously, we want to sell a fresh, good-looking product, but we also want to be safe for the customers we are serving. So our standards of operations follow all of that to a T. We train all of your staff in your store. So we don't send 3 people to some corporate store somewhere to learn everything and they have to come back and train everyone else. We do everything at that store level so that everyone is trained by us. They hear it from us exactly how that's supposed to go. And then we retrain at any time at no charge if you have a lot of turnover and we just need to reboost and refresh people on how things work. Alrighty, I'm going to talk a little bit about the food and more specifics for each concept that we have. And before I get started on that, I just wanted to reiterate the importance of why someone would pick a franchise versus doing their own food service program. And I think if I had to sum it up in one word, the word would be system. That we have everything encompassed in our brands that you would need in order to be successful. And when we go into accounts where people run their own deli systems, the things that I see that they don't have time to do are costing out the menu items, making sure there's still profitability, coming up with a marketing plan to promote having new featured season items, keeping up with changing taste buds of our customers, bringing in new innovation, just new ideas all the time. Most of the time they can get the product out there, but they're not sure what it cost them, they're not sure what they should retail it for, and that's where the system gets a little hairy on a lot of self-ops. So if they're looking for someone to help with those details and have the support of a franchise system without it being a massive franchise system, then we're something they should consider. So when we go through each brand, and I'm going to start with the Freshway subs, salads, and wraps, not every account we have sells everything the same. We have our key components that all of our stores use, and then in some markets, for example, corned beef on marble rye is a very good seller and we have it on the menu year-round. In other markets, we run it as a featured item in March, and in some markets, corned beef isn't something that the customers would order, so we don't even offer it there. So within each concept, we also have quite a bit of flexibility. So starting with the Freshway subs, salads, and wraps. The breakfast component is really big for us. And I would say 95 to 98% of our customers take our breakfast items from the warmer. They're ready to go, they're self-serve, and they're not standing waiting for a made-to-order item. The biggest success we've had in the last couple of years is our breakfast burritos. And we serve those with hash browns or without, wrapped right in the burrito. They're very easy to take on the road for the guys that are getting right back in the truck We also have success, obviously, with our breakfast sandwiches as far as our croissants, our bagels, our English muffins, and our omelet subs. Now, smaller footprint stores don't offer 17 different kinds of breakfast sandwiches. We focus on 2 or 3 that would sell really well in the store. And again, when I talked about that we train at the store level, we're going to be sensitive to your store count, how much traffic you have, how much space we have, and we're going to simplify the menu because, believe it or not, we can do 5 or 6 things really well and we can make a lot of money at selling food, or we can overwhelm the staff and they'll never really get the consistency in anything. And you could have a menu with 75 items on it and not have a profitable, successful food service program. So the breakfast component, I would say, is in almost every store we're in, one of our biggest leaders. The nice thing about having it in the warmer and the customer takes it out self-serve is that that labor doesn't have to be standing there as they would in a made-to-order area. So one person can produce a lot of breakfast items and be getting ready for lunch and keeping batch cooking and keeping that warmer full and fresh of the breakfast items. Moving into the lunch area, we obviously have our subs, which started our whole company, fresh subs, and I will tell you, we have been upgrading a lot of items in the last few years. We changed from yellow onions to red onions. We added alfalfa sprouts. We added chipotle mayonnaise. We still have American cheese, but all the rest of our cheeses are natural cheeses: pepper jack, natural Swiss, cheddar, provolone. The customer is demanding a higher quality product, and we're providing it. Now, we're not going to serve a prime rib sandwich in our convenience store delis because we're not in that business, but we are going to sell a good, fresh tasting sandwich. As I said before, we use Hormel meats in all of our locations for our pizza and our sandwich programs, and we're using a high quality product, and we don't apologize for that. Our bread is the maker on those subs, and we use Rotella Bakery out of Omaha, Nebraska. And the beauty with our bread is it comes in already baked. You take it out of the freezer and you use it. You thaw it and use it. So if we are short a baker today, we're not going to be out of the sandwich program. As far as our wraps go, in most of our location, we do use a flavored 12-inch tortilla shell. Usually the store has 2 to 3 different flavor options, profiles on those flavored tortillas for the customers. One of the better sellers that we have been offering the last few years is called our Stacker Sandwich. And that is a hearty, huge portion of meat sandwich that the men really like. And once you make that sandwich with all the vegetables and fixins, it's that high, it's that big, and it's a great meal. And our featured breads on that, we have an option of sourdough, wheat berry, marble rye. We also offer a ciabatta bun in some markets and locations. So that has been a very good seller for us, not only for made to order, but we also feature those in our grab and go coolers. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in just a minute. As far as the salads go, and the fresh salads that we make, we use a iceberg romaine blend. We have a grilled chicken breast salad. We have a turkey bacon salad. We have our obvious chef salad with a hard-cooked egg in it. And then we have some salads that are called featured ones that come in and out at different seasons that stores can try. And if they're successful, they can put them on the menu permanently. For example, we just ran, the last promotion was our chicken Caesar salad with the chicken breast and Caesar dressing. So the other part of the sub program is that we now offer our subs either served cold or toasted. And we started this market of trying the toasted subs, I want to say 3 years ago, and about 80% of our customers want their sub toasted. So we have an option of warm subs, or cold subs. So that brought our menu mix in even a bigger variety. In addition to those items, in the winter time, we obviously do combo meals with soups. We also in the mornings have biscuits and gravy, which some markets we offer year-round and some we do just in the cold months. So I guess what I want to sum up about the sub salad program is we have a lot of variety in our core menu, but we also are market sensitive, and we will feature items that go well in that area. We have a gluten-free menu for our sandwich and our pizza program, and depending on if you're in an area where that would be some demand for that, we will show them how to do that as well. Talking about the grab and go just a little bit now, that is where we've seen our growth and high sales in the last 3 years, and I don't know what my ceiling is going to be on getting that sales, how high it's going to go. But when the customers are coming in that morning and grabbing that breakfast sandwich, at the same time they're going over to the grab and go and they're grabbing their lunch. And so we have fresh fruit cut up in little cups. We make yogurt parfaits. We make some of our wraps, our sandwich in our stores that have chicken. Obviously we have cold chicken in there. We make pudding parfaits. It's a pretty extensive menu that we do in our grab and go program. And the beauty of that one is, again, we're market sensitive on where we should sell which things, and so we do a planogram for the whole grab and go cooler, and we decide, how many of each thing to put out there, and as customers' taste buds and demand moves, we are innovative enough to come up with new products and offer different things in there as well. Then I'm going to move on to the Gladiator Pizza program for just a little bit. As I said in the earlier tape, when we first started our pizza program, it was called Freshway Pizza. And a good consultant kind of put a bug in my ear when I bought the company and said, you know what, I think you need to market your pizza as its own entity and its own tagline. And that's actually worked very well for us. So if, for example, bowling alleys are a good place to offer our pizza concept. So it's called Gladiator Pizza. The tagline is conquer your hunger and make it big. So our breakfast sandwich in our Gladiator Pizza program is a 4-ounce breakfast biscuit. So a guy's getting a good hearty breakfast sandwich. Within our pizza component, we have where we can make and you bake at home, or we can bake it for you in the store. So we have 3 different sizes. We have a 7-inch, which is our personal pan pizza, and those we make up in the warmer and the customer grabs as they come in the store. And then we have a 14-inch crust and a 16-inch crust. And on our 14s and 16s, they have the choice of thin or regular crust. So a lot of variety in there, and as well as the burger component and other hot sandwiches that we run in the pizza warmer along with our pizza program. And finally, I want to talk just briefly about the Emily's Chicken and Spuds program. I wanted a chicken program within our company and within my brand, and when we came up with Emily's Chicken and Spuds, and my oldest daughter's name is Emily, so if you're wondering where that part came from, when we trademarked that, I know that I don't have chefs and cooks in my locations. And I know the more complicated you make something, the less success you'll have in it. So we do not bread and we don't have raw chicken that we bread and marinate in the stores. I find that as a huge foodborne illness risk, and it's complicated. And that's not what our deli system is all about. If you can count to 6 and you can count to 8, you can make everything we have. So the product that we use for Emily's Chicken and Spuds is a Tyson already breaded raw product that comes in frozen, and they cook it in the broaster fryer, and we market it that way. In addition, depending on the size of the town, whether we would have full dinners or we would just do 2-piece, 4-piece dinners with wedges in the dinner boxes out for grab and go self-serve. It depends on the traffic. If you don't have 2,000 people in your store a day, than having a full-fledged dinners where you're dishing up mashed potatoes, gravy, vegetables. It's too labor intense and it doesn't make you money unless you really have a good traffic. So that one would depend on what type of location that you are in. So in addition to the chicken, we have a full sandwich board that comes with our chicken program. You know, fish sandwich, chicken, breaded chicken fillets, pork tenderloins, all those things. Beef fritters, those all come within that component. And any of the stores that have the fryer, then we can add the appetizer menu as well. So when I'm looking at if we're going to sell something in the store, number one, does it make sense for the customer base? Is it something that's going to sell here? Number two, we have to make sure we know what the portion size is, the actual cost, the retail. Because if we're not going to make money on it, we're not going to sell it. So everything has to be there for a logical reason. And the niche that I am now working on is incorporating bakery into our concepts. A little more bakery than we have been doing. Because what I'm finding is in small towns, the bakeries are no longer there. So in some of our locations, we bake hot dog and hamburger buns, which we sell retail to the customer, and fresh French bread. Then we use those hamburger buns, hot dog buns, for our roller grills or our sandwich, our hamburgers, and we utilize that French bread in a French bread pizza, so we're not having the waste with it. So we incorporate a lot of your personality and what you are looking for to be different in the town and to meet the demands of the town, in addition to our core menu items. In a lot of towns that we are in, we do the catering. So we do the meat and cheese trays, the sandwich platters, because there's no other location that is able to do that type of things for the customers. So I would say that it really depends on the market and what is there and where we think we can excel and bring in more sales. I'm just going to give a brief overview of what we're looking for again. And obviously at any time you can call or email any questions that you have before you go out to seek potential franchisees in your area. First of all, we thrive in smaller towns, and we're looking for people who either have an existing business and would like to remodel or incorporate a deli program into their business that's already existing. Now, if it's a business that doesn't have any refrigeration, freezer space, sinks, and that type of stuff, then there would be obviously some remodeling that would occur. We do very well with new constructions, especially convenience stores. We do help them draw out the layout of the entire store and spec all of the kitchen equipment and help them organize all of that so that it is customer friendly, but it also makes sense for the worker that has to actually execute the plan within the stores. So new constructions are a little easier for us if we get in there before they have made any floor layouts on the inside of the building. I have a list of question and answers that I will email to you that are basically, if you're going to go into a location to do a visit, what we are looking for. For example, if you are going into an existing ice cream shop or convenience store, there's a certain amount of questions that we like you to ask so we can get a little feel for the store. Obviously, with smartphones, you can take location pictures. We like to see the parking lot. We like to see outdoor signage. Anything that you can send us to help give us a little overview and deciding what we would recommend for the location. So if you want that question and answer form sent to you, just let us know and we will send that to you. And you can always call ahead of time before you meet with a potential customer to kind of go over anything that you are not quite sure on. If we know exactly when you're meeting with the customer, we will try to make ourselves available that you can call us and have questions answered right away while you're still with them. So again, the success for our program is a person who wants to be part of a franchise system, a person that wants to sell fresh, high-quality food, and is willing to go out there and try something new. And in some locations, the staff's not real excited for the change until you go in and you've got the system going, and by day 3, they're like, wow, this is so much easier. I understand it. It's written down. Everybody does it the same way. So it does come together. Sometimes it takes a little bit of effort on our part as far as the training part, but it definitely does make their job easier in the end. So again, if you have any questions on anything, there's reasons we spec certain pieces of equipment, and you may be out there thinking that this sandwich cooler would work just as well as the one we spec. Well, little details like one brand of sandwich cooler out there, you cannot move the shelves on the inside of the door, and we want to be able to put our gallons of mayonnaise down there, and you literally can't fit a gallon under there. So all of the commercial equipment we spec is very high quality, and all of our stores have gotten 10+ years out of every piece of that equipment. So there's reasons and logic that we do certain pieces of equipment, and if you have any specification questions on any of that, we can help you with that as well. So I just want to say I would love to work with you, helping us to grow our brand in a lot of new markets, and welcome to the team, and I am available to you. Thanks. Bye.